Haven't done one of these in a while. This is a review for Valheim. Valheim is a survival builders game based off of Norse lore and various key points in the Viking era. With now over 3 million Steam users downloading it, is it any good or a fad like PUBG? Usually games can work in a way that lasts forever, much like games with its shared genre, Minecraft and Terraria. The plot is simple. A battle-slain warrior, the Valkyries have ferried your soul to Valheim, the 10th Norse world besieged by creatures of chaos and ancient enemies of the gods. You are the newest custodian, tasked with slaying Odin's ancient rivals and bringing order to Valheim. Valheim is usually one of those kind of games that you can either like it or dislike it, but in this case I've seen a majority of folks actually quite enjoying this game, and I can kind of see why. You are pretty much started off in a, well, middle of the said world, and as I go through, you of course accumulate or come across little tree creatures I just call tree creatures. It just makes my brain happy just calling them that. Probably a politically correct way to call them something, but just call them tree dudes. We'll just leave it even simpler like that. So you go through and you deal with all these tree dudes, either it's daytime or nighttime, and you run all the way until you find a meadow. A meadow, of course, which is pointed out by a crow. Now this crow does help you along the way and give you a little bit of an ease into the game, so it doesn't feel like you're being lost forever or just confused. Not until you do a sandbox mode and just cuss at the game because it's very vague or something like that. I don't know, people do that all the time and it usually happens. So basically you then talk to the said crow, you go through and then you find materials and resources along the way, such as stones, such as, twigs or branches on the ground. You pick all that up, you make weapons, you make a fire. It's the traditional sense of survival. You build shelter, you accumulate food, or you just simply build a line of defense, as well as weaponry and everything else in between. Now this game is deceptively huge underneath the hood so far. Now you can build quite a few things, as well as purchase a few things, which I'm not going to go into too many spoilers with this game, by the way, so if I say something, you're going to get a vague information on why in certain elements. So, long story short, you're pretty much tasked, as the game would suggest, you're supposed to take down some ancient evil bastards, basically. So as you're trying to take down these ancient evil bastards, you are then, of course, supposed to find them. When you do, then you explore around and you find the correct, appropriate means of doing so. So it's a little bit of a riddle, which isn't too hard. For example, you're dealing with the deer boss there, or the deer guy. If you deal with him, you have to summon him and blah, 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 blah. It's pretty much the key fundamentals of this game in a nutshell. So you do this and you have these, overall just the combat in this game is actually really refreshing. For an early access game so far, it is very well made. As well as the servers are pretty solid too. Like me and Ready Set Indie Games, me and her are currently playing it. And we're playing the game together and it's smooth. We never really have too many issues. If we do, it's rare and we usually just refresh the dead game and you just connect back in and you play. It's usually dependent on the person's internet connection as well, because one person hosts the said world, and then they just join and you can go and explore and pillage and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. And so you can also do your own dedicated server, which I forgot where the heck you can go to get that, which I think you go to, if I'm not mistaken, to G-Portal or something. Someone will probably correct me in the comments or something. It's fine, but you usually go and do that, and then you go and you have a server running infinitely. Otherwise, you have to be tasked with somebody being able to host the game every single time you want to play with somebody else. So the world will stay consistent and will save. So if someone has to go to the bathroom or just log out for work or go to sleep or something, the host, if they leave, that server shuts down or that world shuts down. So you have to wait till that person comes back to continue your progress. Luckily, with the characters, they're all unique. So all the stuff you learn, all the materials, all the items in your inventory, your armor, everything else, sticks with that character. That's a character profile, unique. So you can go to different said servers if you want to, or different worlds, or dedicated servers in this case, if you find one. You basically can go there and you just, hang out whoever, and your progress, your recipes, everything sticks with you. So it's pretty awesome. So if you're a type of person that's kind of like a kind of likes to wander around and just, go full nomad, you could just do so if you wish to, and just explore, do different things, do whatever the heck you want. It's focused more so on PvE A lot of people are kind of like, well, I need a full PvP thing. Well, I mean, you could if you want to. I mean, again, there's an option for PvP. The servers permit it. The people say, yeah, pure PvP. This is how the server works. Then guess what? Your wish is being granted. You can go and do pure PvP. Again, the game does do from 2 to 10 players when it comes to co-op as well. So you get up to 10 players consecutively running in a building or running into a building. Wow, running into a person's said server. So you can also set up passwords and all that too. So if you want to have a private experience with those 9 other people, you can. So going with that over, it's a solid experience so far, at least with the co-op aspects. Again, exploring, loot finding, and resource, farming too. It's all good. Like, I love the fact that I can kind of go in there and go for different kinds of trees, like core wood, for example, from pine, regular wood, and fine wood. So again, you have different types of wood that, of course, do certain things and then allows you to make particular kind of things as well. You have different biomes, very similar to that in Minecraft, a few other said survival games you probably already know of. And so you're able to basically run about and summon these prime evil bastards and just simply primordially beat the crap out of them. Now, of course, you can upgrade your armor as well. You can get different types, like such as leather, brass. No, it's bronze. It's bronze. Sorry, brain fart. You can do all that, and then you could basically go off and, continuously farm. Now, materials are required, and if you get a little confused, there's plenty of guides so far that do point you in the right direction in terms of how to find particular kinds of said, materials, which are required, obviously, to do certain special things in the game, which some of the requirements aren't as bad either. So if you do like a casual run of the game, you could probably get most of the materials you need without feeling too stressed. Now, as a per survival game, you do have to eat food and such as meat and berries and fish. You can basically build your HP and your stamina accordingly from your food. And the diet in the game is very important. That's like I think it's one of the top, I'd say number 1 probably, if anything. And you're asking me why? It's simply put, it's because of the fact that I could sit here and tell you that you could get a berry or whatever, a raspberry, and you kill a boar, you cook the meat, and you eat the meat from that. And then you have, I don't know, maybe like 60-something or so HP and some stamina. But if you end up eating a bunch of meat and, some meat, mixing that with some royal jam or whatever from a corrective cauldron recipe, and you can do even further extended, stats. So again, it's very crucial. It's very similar to the mechanics you remember from Monster Hunter. Depending on what meal you have before the run, or the rations you eat, or whatever in that. For example, like a max potion or some crap like that, or I forgot what the heck it was. It was like Godberry or something. I don't remember. People are going to probably yell and scream at me and throw me across the room. But you basically are able to, eat food accordingly and go in there and do so by making it or just farming it a little bit and just consuming it. Like I found so far, fish is a really effective means of, boosting your stats too. So again, it's just really nice synergy with what you can find, what you can build, what you can construct. Overall, it's a game that definitely ties in well with the survival genre. And if I have anything, I cannot wait to see what else they additionally toss into the game as well, because games such as this come once in a lifetime in terms of well made as it is. And so if you love building games and games that have a lot of detailed building, this game does not disappoint either. You can build yourself a nice house, a fortress, whatever, and you could do so effectively, as well as making beehives and all that too. It's just, overall, it's just so much going on underneath this game's hood. It's insane for me to completely explain it all. I would implore you to definitely pick up the game for $20, support the developer through steam.com or through the store, and just be sure to pick up a copy. It's worth it, absolutely.